In a logical fallacy, soundness is an illusion. If your premises don't support your conclusion.
This is the Wizard News.
If rational inquiry is your mission and not just to win debates, when you attack someone's position, cite facts, not character traits, lest you commit an ad hominem fallacy, cause the only thing that's relevant is the rational quality of the interlocutor's argument. It's irrelevant whether your opposition acts inconsistently with his position. Cause in a logical fallacy, soundness is an illusion. Yes, it is. If your premises don't support your conclusion. Because when your argument proceeds from A to B, when it does, you must consider the consequences carefully.
In 1965, Playboy magazine published an interview with Martin Luther King Jr. in which the civil rights icon shared harsh words about Malcolm X, reportedly saying he has done himself and our people a great disservice. That fiery quote established the conventional wisdom that the two famed activists were rivals, a perception that has been taught and passed down for 6 decades. Jonathan Eig, the author of the Pulitzer Prize winning biography, King, A Life, discovered in his research that Alex Haley, the Roots author who conducted that famous Playboy interview, had misquoted King. King actually said, while he disagreed with some of Malcolm's methods, he was open-minded about the differences in their views. In a 2023 interview with biography.com, Eig shared how he discovered this misquotation. In the Playboy magazine interview, which was the longest interview Dr. King ever conducted, King was asked what he thought about the Nation of Islam, and in that question, he said he thought the fiery, demagogic oratory in the black ghettos was doing harm, but he did not say that about Malcolm X. When asked about Malcolm X, King said he disagreed with many of his views, particularly in the use of violence, but he said, "I don't want to make it sound like my way is the only way." Eig said that's a big difference. In the original transcript for Alex Haley's interview in his papers at Duke University in the Rubenstein Library, where many of Haley's papers are kept, Eig found how the original transcript and what Dr. King said in the actual interview were different from what was actually published. As a result, it has been taught in classrooms and in textbooks that King and Malcolm X were adversaries and that King viewed Malcolm X skeptically when really King was advocating open-mindedness. King and Malcolm X have been portrayed as polar opposites when, in fact, they have had much more common ground than the media suggested. Martin Luther King Jr. deplored all violence and did not approve of Malcolm X's threats of violence in accomplishing his goals. Both shared a great interest in black dignity, black equality, enforcing white America to give up some of the power that it was hoarding. Most importantly, Dr. King was humble when asked about Malcolm X and said, "I don't think I have all the answers," as if to say he felt that he could learn from Malcolm X. Before his death, James Baldwin wrote that King and Malcolm had more in common than they did apart. Eig said that two of our greatest activists were fighting the same battle, not fighting each other. Eig stated that Alex Haley's published interview should be primary source material, but biographers have to question everything, and when it comes to Alex Haley, one has to question everything with heightened scrutiny. Eig believes that the next step for scholars is to look with further scrutiny at Alex Haley's The Autobiography of Malcolm X, for which Haley collaborated with Malcolm, and for which there has already been some indication of flaws. Eig said that the moral of the story is when you find a good interview that somebody did, it is worth going back and checking the notes and the tapes. Eig learned that anytime someone gives a really good interview, he wants to see what they left out and, in this case, what they changed. Source: Biography, May 6th, 2024.
Now, Zog agreed is omniscient. It says so in his book, which is sufficient, as it was written by Zog, an infallible source, which we know cause it says so in the text, of course. Circular reasoning or begging the question, another fallacy for your digestion. The conclusion isn't proven, it's assumed within the postulates. Now, a false dichotomy is if I insist there are only two options when others exist. Equivocation uses the same word in two senses, leading to false consequences. Appeal to tradition says because it stood the test of time, it must be good. False analogy concludes if two things connect, then they must be the same in another respect. Bandwagon calls an idea legitimate because lots of people believe in it. Slippery slope, one step will commence an unrelated chain of events. Red herring puts a new topic into view in order to distract from the real issue. Articulating your opponent's argument even better than he can. If this lesson you heed, then you'll succeed. And I know that you can.